It's 5 a.m. and this is WKYT This Morning. A man accused of killing a sleeping 6-year-old boy will be in a Woodford County courtroom today. More on what can be expected in that case today just ahead.
Hundreds of customers were without power all night. More on the crash that caused the outage just ahead.
Also this morning, today, community members in Powell County are going to be meeting. They'll discuss this oily residue that's been left behind after a lightning strike. The latest on that ahead on WKYT This Morning.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning. Welcome into you. I'm Rebecca Smith.
I'm Bill Bryant. So good to have you with us here on Hump Day, Wednesday, August 3rd. The start of classes in Estill County.
You know, it's that time of year again.
School
a lot
bells
of
are ringing.
Different school districts are starting to get back up and at it, and hope you are as well. Having luck with that.
There you go. Let's check in with Mike. It sounds like we get a pretty dry day today. Maybe enjoy some sunshine.
Yeah, it is mainly dry outside, and hopefully we'll get some bright blue skies. I mean, we haven't seen that in quite some time, so hoping for that. Crossing your fingers. Defender Radar Network, I want you to look back toward West Virginia. I know that's not the state we live in, but look what's heading our direction, and slowly but surely kind of looping back, and we're going to have that chance over toward eastern Kentucky later on today. Temperatures are there in the 70s. It's not too bad outside. It's a small chance later on today. It's more about the temperatures today, so meaning you better knock out some plans today, because the next few days, here comes some thunderstorms sliding back into the forecast, and that is going to be our focus as we focus in on not just the thunderstorms, but could we be seeing a flash flooding threat again? I'll have that in just a few minutes.
And some fog at the Clays Ferry Bridge and in some other locations this morning. Keep that in mind. Let's get to the news. We're tracking an ongoing problem near downtown Lexington. Hundreds of people still in the dark. It's because of a crash.
Happened last night on South Broadway in the front of the Lex Apartments. Sean Moody's at our alert desk with details.
Rebecca, we just checked in with Kentucky Utilities, and that crash is still having a big impact on the area. This is a live look at the area. You see police still have some of those lanes shut down. Not only are hundreds of people still in the dark, but outbound South Broadway is still closed. That's a live look at the area right around the Lex apartment there on South Broadway. Now, here's what happened. Police say a van turned in front of an SUV right around 8:30 last night. That caused the SUV to hit a utility pole and flip. That then brought the wires down and took out power to about 700 Kentucky Utilities customers in the South Broadway area. The driver was arrested on suspicion of DUI. Now, at last check, about 450 KU customers were still without power. KU expects everyone will have power again by 6 o'clock this morning. As we take another live look this morning, keep in mind that, again, the outbound South Broadway is closed. We'll keep tracking this story and let you know when that road reopens. Bill, Rebecca, back to you all.
Well, a considerable project there that nobody expected, including obviously the utility company, because they had said they thought it would be fixed earlier. So we'll keep you informed at the 6 o'clock projected time for the lights to be on over there.
Okay, well, I'm sure they're waiting. Today, a judge is expected to make a ruling in the case of a man accused of killing a 6-year-old boy. They're trying to see if he's competent to stand trial. Yeah,
police say Ronald Exantis broke into a Versailles home back in December and stabbed Logan Tipton to death while he was sleeping. WKYT's Mark Barber is live with what can be expected in court today. Mark?
Good morning, Bill. We have been waiting for months to learn whether Ronald Exantis is competent to stand trial. This morning, a judge is expected to take a look at the state's psychiatric evaluation of Exantis to determine whether he is indeed competent to stand trial or not. Now, this hearing that is expected today was delayed for 2 months because the attorneys on the case were busy with other cases. The Indiana man was arrested back in December after police say he broke into a home here in Versailles and stabbed Logan Tipton to death. The 6-year-old boy was sleeping. Exantis' attorney says that there is no explanation for what happened that night. She says the 32-year-old was in a state hospital for months after his arrest because he had a psychotic break. However, Logan's mother thinks the attorney is just grasping for straws. She believes a psychiatric evaluation will prove that Exantis is mentally stable. Now, the man could face the death penalty if he goes to trial and is convicted of murder. Now, we've been speaking with the attorney as far as the timeline of things goes, and she says if the judge rules that he is competent to stand trial, it could still be another year before that case starts for the trial. Live here in Versailles, Mark Barber, WKYT.
Mark, thank you very much. New on WKYT this morning, Lexington police are investigating a shooting after the victim has shown up at the hospital. They say someone dropped off the man at St. Joe East around 12:30 this morning. That victim had been shot in the shoulder. Police say they're not sure where the shooting happened, and the person who dropped off the man did not stick around.
There will be a public meeting today in Powell County to address the oily residue left behind after a lightning strike. Investigators say lightning hit a gas substation of a pipeline on Highway 15 Monday, causing an oily substance to spew into the air. Much of it landed on some nearby homes. Investigators say they are still trying to figure out if the oily substance is dangerous. One homeowner said the owner of the pipeline, Kinder Morgan, offered to pay for the cost of leaving her home for the time being.
They didn't say it was any type of evacuations, but they did act like it was kind of encouraged to get our kids out of the smell.
Kinder Morgan says there are no current dangers to the community, but the Powell County Judge Executive says he wants more evidence to back up that claim. He has scheduled a public meeting tonight at 5 o'clock at the Clay City Municipal Building. Anyone with concerns about the issue is invited.
Well, a state trooper happened to be in the right place at the right time when a father and daughter became trapped by high water in Pulaski County.
My car was parked out, and I came back to get it just a minute ago, and I tried to cross, and it's just too deep. There's water coming in the doors, and me and my daughter are in the vehicle right now.
That was the 911 call that the father made after he and his 3-year-old daughter got stuck under a bridge near Science Hill early yesterday morning. Trooper Adam Childers just happened to be patrolling nearby. He rushed to the scene for the rescue.
Dad handed the daughter through the window to me, and I carried her, keeping her above the water because she was cold and panicked. I kept her above the water.
Police say the father climbed onto the roof of the car and eventually made it to safety. Neither he nor his daughter were injured in that.
2 people are charged in connection to a robbery at a Laurel County store. The Laurel County deputies say that they arrested Jason Wells and Lori Eversole yesterday afternoon. Investigators say last Tuesday a robber used force to steal a money bag from a clerk at the corner market on Highway 830. They say Wells stole the money and Eversole drove the getaway car. A Richmond man is among more than a dozen people now facing federal charges in connection to an illegal gambling ring. Jason Taylor has been charged with transmitting wagering information and participating in an illegal gambling business. Investigators say Taylor was a bookie for high-stakes bettors in an operation based out of California. Last week, the FBI raided a business. Investigators say it was used as a front for the operation. If convicted, the government could seize Taylor's assets, including his home in Richmond.
The time this morning is 5:07 on WKYT. Kentucky native and Medal of Honor recipient Dakota Meyer is weighing in on some controversial comments that Donald Trump has made. The Republican presidential nominee has taken heat for criticizing the parents of a Muslim American soldier who was killed in combat after the father said Trump had sacrificed nothing. In a tweet yesterday, Meyer said if Trump wanted to be the commander-in-chief, he needs to act like one. And he called on Trump to apologize to the soldier's parents. Hillary Clinton's running mate also criticized Trump.
I mean, is there no limit to which this guy will descend? And he wants to be commander-in-chief?
There has to be a point at which you say.
President Obama also said Trump's recent comments made him, quote, woefully unfit to be president. After his rally in Virginia yesterday, Trump was asked about the criticism he's received for not serving in the military during the Vietnam War. Trump said he was fortunate that he did not have to go to Vietnam, but he says in some ways he regrets not serving.
It's something I've always missed, and I built and helped build the Vietnam Memorial in downtown Manhattan. To me, that was a very important thing to do.
Trump also refused last night to endorse either House Speaker Paul Ryan or Arizona Republican Senator John McCain in their upcoming GOP primaries.
This morning, people will kayak down the Red River to raise awareness for veteran suicide. About 22 veterans take their own lives each day, and to bring attention to this, Red River Adventures hosting a 22 paddle salute. It's meant to promote outdoor recreation that can act as a coping mechanism for veterans.
All right, nice event for a very important cause. And our time this morning is 5:09. Hey, it's good to have you with us. WKYT This Morning. We're just getting started.
Video of a police officer trying to arrest some jaywalking cows, getting a lot of laughs. That story when we come back.
We'll have that, and also how hot weather hurt auto sales. And a man wants Pokemon Go players to go away. Your Money Watch stories are ahead this morning.
Little patchy fog early this morning, but at least we're not looking at some thunderstorms early. Now later on, there's a small chance, but really the next few days is when it starts to be on the increase, and I'm going to walk you through my forecast coming up.
Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
We have no rain out there early this morning as you're walking out the door or getting the kids ready to go to school. For some of us here in the next hour or two, well, it looks pretty good, so I don't see any problems whatsoever. Maybe a little patchy fog. Got to be watching out for that. But other than that, we are good to go. I do want to show you this back toward West Virginia because that's our next best chance of rain, and it's not a great chance, but the movement of this will show like this. It'll actually move just to the south and then head back down toward the southeast. There's a bit of a spin in the atmosphere right there over the mountainous regions, and so that's the movement of that. So heads up if you're working your way over toward, say, Lawrence County, then go off toward 460. Those are areas that you could see some rain here in the next couple of hours. Really, the bulk of it's going to come, and I call it the bulk. The main part that's still about a 30-40% chance of rain for you guys over toward eastern Kentucky comes later on this afternoon. For the rest of us, it's mainly a 10-20% chance of rain, and that's it. We just can't rule out a pop-up thunderstorm, and that's all. 69 degrees there in Jackson, 73 there in Frankfort, like I was talking about earlier. It's a little patchy fog here and there. London looks pretty good. Across 75, I'm not seeing any problems whatsoever. And as we take you through your afternoon for your hour-by-hour, 24-hour forecast, we get into your afternoon and look at 5 p.m., 88 degrees. Most of us will be complaining about the heat as opposed to the rain today. Now, it's not going to be extremely hot. It's not like we had, what, a week ago? It's nothing like that. But still, it's pretty warm. 88, that's still above average, and that humidity's still there, too. So if you're trying to make plans, stick with your plans. Just know that it's going to be warm and humid, and also that small chance of rain today, mainly for eastern Kentucky. Then we hit Thursday and Friday. Few storms roll on in both of those days. At 40% chances of rain, that means knocking out the yard work today is a good idea. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, you can still get it done, but still there are going to be some storms around, and not everybody will see the rain during those times. But if you do, you're talking about some heavy downpours, you're talking about some lightning, much like what we have been through, where most of us don't see rain, and then some of us do, and some of us could end up with some flash flooding once again, just because those grounds are so wet. So that's something to watch out for Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Listen guys, if the grounds weren't so wet, this would just be your run-of-the-mill thunderstorms. This should just be your typical summertime setup, but we've had so much rain that it could cause some problems.
Good to be aware of. Yeah.
Absolutely. Next few days.
All right, we're going to watch. Today's the day, the pick day. We're going to enjoy, right? 5:15 right now. A Maine police officer's intervention in a possible mad cow situation is keeping a lot of people amused.
Yeah. Officer Ernest McVeigh made a video of him chasing down and attempting to arrest a couple of cows that had escaped and wandered out there onto the road.
You just step over the side of the road, put your hands up in the air. Don't run from me, I'm the police. Hey.
Huh? McVeigh says he made the video for his 10-year-old son, but it went viral after the department posted it on their Facebook. He says he hopes it makes some people laugh and puts a human face on police officers. Police in Maine may need to consider beefing up security after these two resisted arrest. They just ran off.
They were on the move, aren't they?
Yes.
All right, this happens from time to time. Good to have you with us on WKYT. Bright and early. Hope you're making it a good day and going to make it a great Wednesday on the way.
We have a look at your money. Stay with us.
How hot weather hurt auto sales, and a man is suing the makers of Pokemon Go to keep players away from his home. I'm Brian Webb in New York. Those stories and more coming up in your Money Watch report.
Hey, good morning. Welcome back in. This is WKYT This Morning on your Wednesday, 5:19 right now. How hot weather hurt auto sales, and a man wants Pokemon Go players to go away.
Looks like that's happening a lot too often. And $1 billion income for Freddie Mac. Brian Webb has the latest on your money.
U.S. auto sales were expected to drop by about 1% in July because hot weather kept buyers indoors, according to Kelley Blue Book. General Motors sales fell 2%. Ford's U.S. sales dropped 3%. Both automakers reported declines in pickup truck sales, their best sellers, but strong sales of big SUVs. The markets finished Tuesday lower. The Dow was down 90 points. The Nasdaq was down 46. Mortgage giant Freddie Mac reported net income of $1 billion for the second quarter, down from the same period last year, hurt by lower interest rates. But next month, Freddie will pay a dividend of $933 million to the U.S. Treasury for a total of $99 billion, exceeding its government bailout of $71 billion during the economic crisis of 2008. And a New Jersey man is filing a class action lawsuit in federal court to keep Pokemon Go players away from his house. Jeffrey Martyr of West Orange says for the past month, strangers have been lingering outside his home and even knocking on his door, asking to get into his backyard to catch a Pokemon placed there by the virtual game. Spokespeople for the companies that make the game were not available for comment. And that's your Money Watch report. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. In New York, I'm Brian Webb.
I have no idea how that game works, but you think they could reconfigure it maybe to just be in public places?
Right. And public places are busy with them too, you know, the downtown
right.
areas.
And even that
so
can be
forth.
a nuisance, but oh well. Google is getting ready to deliver goods by drone.
Yesterday, the White House said Google's Project Wing will start testing its delivery drones. The announcement is part of the White House's Office of Science and Technology policy. The Federal Aviation Administration is on board, saying it hopes that drones will be able to fly problem-free before the end of the year. Amazon recently said it will soon start testing drone deliveries in Great Britain. White House officials say the drone industry could eventually create nearly $83 billion into the U.S. economy. So we'll see how this all pans out.
Yeah, unfortunately putting a lot of couriers out of work probably.
Right, and there's that issue, certainly. Yeah. Time this morning is 5:22, and a lot more news on the way. Our top stories coming up in just a few minutes.
Sports is up next.
Tyler Eulis says he's trying to rest his body before NBA training camp, and the Astros call up former Wildcat A.J. Reed. That's next in sports.
We're nice and dry early this morning. I'm meteorologist Micah Harris. We're looking back toward the east, though, because the eastern zones once again today, because just like yesterday, eastern Kentucky had a few showers passing on by. It's going to be the case again today, but it's far eastern Kentucky. I don't see much of an issue there as we travel off towards your afternoon. Temperatures in the 60s and 70s. Looks pretty good this morning. Feels pretty good. It's not all that bad. Small chance of rain as we travel into your afternoon hours at about 30%. The farther east you go, the better likelihood of seeing a passing shower or maybe even a rumble of thunder. But for the most part, we're going to be dry today. But you better enjoy it while it lasts, because the next few days, here come some storms in the forecast, and maybe even some with heavy downpours too. We're going to get into that. I'll show you that further detail in my forecast. First, let's check out sports and see what's going on.
Tyler Eulis is looking forward to the Suns training camp in September. The last couple of days he's been back here in Kentucky at camps in Lexington and Louisville. Eulis was impressive in his summer league, and he averaged 14.5 points and better than 3 assists per game. Stepping up to the NBA, Eulis is still adjusting.
It's just the game is a lot faster. You know, with the shot clock, it's 24 seconds instead of 30, so you know you have to pay attention to detail and be sharp at all times. I'm trying to rest my body. It was a long summer with the workouts for the teams, preparing for the draft, everything. So I'm just trying to get a little rest and prepare myself for training camp.
Lexington native Shelvin Mack is also back in town this week, hosting a skills camp out at the KBA. Mack says that he attended basketball camps himself when he was a kid, and he just wants to give back by hosting camps for kids in his hometown. Shelvin is going into his 6th season in the NBA. He was traded to Utah in the middle of last season, and he says so far it's been good for him.
It was a great opportunity for me to get out there, showcase my skills. I was able to play more. I had a really great second half of the season once I got to start playing. They just picked up my option this year, so I'm going back. Hopefully it's going to turn out great again this year and just continue to grow as a player and as a person. Hopefully it can lead to bigger and better things.
Kentucky football picked up a commitment from defensive back Cedric Dort for the 2017 class. They picked that up on Monday. Dort is out of Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. Scout.com ranks him as a 3-star. He had offers from Cincinnati, Iowa State, Syracuse, and Wisconsin, among others. So let me make one correction. They picked that up on Tuesday. Dort becomes UK's second defensive back commitment in the 2017 class. A.J. Reed's stint back in AAA didn't last very long, just a couple of weeks. On Tuesday afternoon, the Houston Astros recalled the former Kentucky Wildcat first baseman back to the major leagues. Reed was batting .436 with 4 home runs, 3 doubles, and 14 RBI in just 11 games since his demotion to Fresno. He's such a good player. You'd like to see him stick this time up in the big leagues. That'll do it for your morning sports. Have a great Wednesday.